While the game has changed with time, golf has managed to stick with some of its traditions. And just like other sports, golf has traditions that tend to get a tad bit exhausting to follow, not to mention how pointless and silly they can be at times. Today, we're talking about 10 golf traditions that need to change now. Let's dive right into it, starting off with paying for everyone's drinks when you get a hole-in-one. If a golfer hits a hole-in-one, he will properly celebrate by purchasing a round of drinks for everyone in the club at the bar after his round is over. This unspoken rule is almost always followed. To cover the huge bar tab, some golfers at big clubs even get a hole-in-one insurance coverage. But really, what is your reward at the end of the day? A hefty amount of bills? Seems a bit unfair, doesn't it? Well, people are starting to notice. Defenders of this practice, which has been going on for at least a century, argue that it is a golfer's way of spreading good fortune. It's time to turn around this custom.
Just moments ago,
Sam Ryder taking it right at it. Talk to me.
And truly celebrate the achievement by getting the lucky golfer a drink. Next up, not being able to change your shoes in the parking lot. What is so wrong with that, you might be thinking? Well, private clubs are always aiming to maintain a professional feel. The parking lot is for parking at private clubs. It's not appropriate to use it as a locker room. Doing so could result in a sharp warning from a club employee or member. Even worse, if you are a guest, the club might issue a letter of warning to you or your host, which would be embarrassing to say the least. Many private clubs loosened this rule after COVID hit, but now that lockdowns are long over, the old tradition is once more in effect. You should feel free to immediately change your footwear in the parking area and proceed to the first tee. And if you'd rather get ready for your round in the locker room, that should be totally okay too. But establishing a specific routine in order to maintain a certain style sounds a bit stuffy.
This Jerry's it's tough putting in the shadow. At least the trees aren't moving, which helps. Never a doubt.
Following that, we have starters giving long monologues on the first tee. Starters definitely put a lot of effort into keeping courses moving properly and smoothly. Some information at a new course is welcome, but there should clearly be a warning for too much information. We've all been there. You're putting your tee in the ground, and the starter is there and all eager to give you every little detail about your upcoming round. There's a pretty fine line between providing the golfer with necessary information and just bombarding them with irrelevant details. They surely appreciate the help, but like nobody cares if the recent storm made an area 50 yards off the fairway on number 5 a little wet. Imagine all the precious time that is wasted. So just a little less talk and a little more golf. At number 7, we have courses being cart only and not for walking.
Reduces the risk of injury, but also prevents damage to the course.
This tradition still exists partly due to selfish reasons. The $30 fee for a cart sounds pretty tempting to private clubs, a nice way to earn some revenue. It's unfortunate when a course forbids walking altogether and forces you to use a cart. Why not allow golfers to enjoy a casual walk as exercise? It can even allow them some time to think. We get it if your course is so hilly that it might become impractical to walk, or the golf course is wet after strong rain. One solution to this is to pay for the cart, put the bag on it,
Chikara for another birdie.
and let someone else drive it, but a group might not see you and hit right into you. Plus, it sounds pretty impractical and a waste of money. It seems like there's no ditching the golf cart anytime soon, but one can dream. For number 6, clubs prohibiting some employees from accepting tips.
To say par at hole 9, he's got 10 holes to play as well.
What an up and down. What an up.
This one is a little extreme. Now some private clubs have a strict no tipping policy. The idea is that tips are covered by membership fees. On the other hand, we're raised to pull out our wallets when someone goes above and beyond to assist us. It can be uncomfortable when you're a guest at a club and you try to give the bag drop attendant $5 for getting your clubs, only for them to explain why they must decline it. It shouldn't be such a big deal. The whole thing can make a golfer feel uneasy and nervous. We are sure that your employees are well paid, but just give people the freedom to make their own choice about whether they want to tip and how much they want to.
Teammate.
It's just a little way to show appreciation to someone for their efforts and motivate them. Up next at number 5, we have waiting for whoever is away or has honors to play. Now, whoever has the lowest number of strokes on the previous hole has the honor of playing first, or whoever is furthest away from the hole should play next. This is pretty much common understanding. Seems a bit outdated, doesn't it? Unless you're in a match play. Players should instead strike when they're prepared. The round is sped while also being made more enjoyable for everyone. When the only prize on the table is a post-round beverage, it is a waste of time to figure out who had the lowest score and wait for that player to place the peg on the ground. Moving on to number 4, juniors being prevented from playing at certain times of the day. Even though not all golf courses have this rule in place, too many still do, especially on weekends, to allow junior golfers to play during certain times of the day. Although the reasoning differs from course to course, should any paying customer be restricted from playing whenever they like, provided they have secured a tee time. The policy of tee time restrictions is even more problematic philosophically. It seems unfair to prevent someone from playing golf at a given time just because of who they are. Isn't the world all about inclusivity today? Let's abandon the tradition of establishing when juniors, or anyone for that matter, can and cannot play. If there are some specific problems with their presence, then those should be dealt with on a case-by-case basis rather than a blanket prohibition.
Good. Set up the ball. Okay, up top freeze. Hit it. Good.
Now at third, everyone in the group playing the same tees. It's unnecessary to play one set of tees if you are in a group. There, we said it. This is a usual scene. 4 players of varied skill levels arrive at the first tee and try to choose which set of tees to play. They decide that it'll be more convenient and save time for everyone to play off the same set of tees. In fact, only 1 or 2 members of the group might play this set of tees. While it can still appear more practical, using a set of tees that isn't suitable for everyone will eventually take much longer and will be more frustrating. Instead, each player should choose the distance that'll be right for them, even if it requires splitting the group up among 2 or 3 sets of tees. We can assure you that this way you'll have more fun. Next up at number 2, not listening to music while playing.
Westwood for birdie here. He's got 14 to play at 15.
Especially at the professional level, golf is a sport that relies heavily on attention and concentration. However, you should be allowed to carry a tiny speaker to listen to music on your golf cart when you are at a course with your buddies. Some might find it selfish, but many players have discovered that they perform better when there is light background music playing. You should be alright as long as your music isn't too loud that it disturbs other groups. Plus, it simply adds more fun when playing golf. Although you should avoid playing loud rap or strong metal music. Finally, having to turn off your phone. Now this one might get a bit controversial, but hear us out. Golf helps you unwind and spend some time outdoors, which is one of the best features. It's common to put our phones away during a round of golf, but it's not a required politeness to do. It's 2022, people. Life moves very quickly. You should feel free to use your phone if you need to check your emails, texts, etc., and not get offended looks for it. However, just be careful not to let your playing partners become distracted and keep it to yourself. If you need to make a phone call, kindly do it at least 20 yards away from where people are striking and avoid slowing down the pace.
Took a good long time reading it.
If this tradition doesn't change anytime soon, then they'll be cutting away a whole generation of people who need to check their phones in order to survive daily. Golf needs to keep up with the times if it still wants to continue being a popular sport.
Boy, a little draw increases your odds of hitting that sliver of a fairway.
That's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching. So, which tradition annoys you the most? And did we miss any silly ones? Let us know in the comments below. As always, remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. We'll see you next time.